So today ended up being a day of lots of different moves for the Packers. We already talked about earlier today Amari Rodgers being released, as well as Kylan Hill also being released. Just made a video on the recent signing of wide receiver Dede Westbrook. And it also came out that the Packers have signed edge rusher Tim Ward, who, if you take a look at his career so far, he was undrafted back in 2019. And then taking a look at his time in the NFL, 2020 played 57 overall snaps for the Chiefs, according to PFF. Had a 64 overall grade, which isn't, not too bad. It's pretty average, I'd say. A little bit of, basically average. And he had a total of 3 pressures that season. Then 2021, this past year, was with the Jets, where he had 191 snaps. So a good amount of snaps there, where he only totaled 1 pressure, had a grade of 63. So he did a little bit in his time so far in the NFL. Not too much, but just a little. He's 6'6", 255 pounds. And when we look at the Packers' current pass rusher situation, Rashawn Gary, of course, going down a couple weeks ago, torn ACL, out for the entire year. Clearly a huge blow to the Packers' defense. Luckily, they were able to do enough last week to beat the Cowboys, even without Rashawn Gary, Devondre Campbell, as well as Eric Stokes. But now we decide to add another pass rusher. Without Rashawn Gary, we're, of course, with Kingsley Enagbare, JJ Enagbare, who I think has a promising future from what we've seen so far from him, Preston Smith, and then we have Jonathan Garvin and Ladarius Hamilton. So we now just have a little bit more depth with Tim Ward being signed to the practice squad. We'll see if the Packers decide to elevate him at some point. But lots of different moves today for the Packers. It also came out that Randall Cobb has been designated to return off of the IR. So there is a chance he could play Thursday against the Titans, which would obviously be huge for the Packers, considering we've been without Cobb for at least, 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. So he's been injured for that time. And to allow Rodgers just to have another weapon he can trust. We've seen in the past, since Randall Cobb got traded back to Green Bay, a year or so ago, when Cobb has been healthy in big moments, Aaron Rodgers knows he can trust him. So to have him back will clearly be huge. To add him to a receiver room where now Christian Watson has a ton of confidence after a 3-touchdown game. Allen Lazard is still productive as well. So things are looking up right now for the Packers, but tons of different moves today. So if you haven't seen the other ones and you want my more in-depth thought on them, feel free to go subscribe to my channel. Check out the other videos. I posted 2 already earlier today, so feel free to go check those ones out. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed and you want to see more Packers content, feel free to subscribe. But that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.